Hey frag heads and fragrance lovers, welcome back. You know who it is. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel chatting about some beautiful fragrances. So today I thought I would make a top 10 list. I usually don't make those, but I really felt like I need to make a modern gents list. A list for you gentlemen out there. Classy fragrances, refined fragrances for you classy, individuals out there. You probably have heard about quite a few releases. You probably know about of them, but there's a lot of fragrances here that you haven't heard about that can really fill out a gentleman's collection. Have you smelling classy, refined. Most of these are pretty wearable as well, and they're just great fragrances for any man out there really looking to step up his game and smell refined and just smell great. So let's jump into the list. I chose some really great fragrances. I hope you like them. Let me know what you think about my choices in the comment section below. But let's talk about Orchid Man from the House of Frappin. This is the first one. Yes, this is often compared to Aventus, no doubt about it. I had to get it out of the way. There had to be an Aventus smelling fragrance or something that smelled like it, right? So there is a pineapple-like quality off the top. There is a little bit of that fresh, white, sparkly patchouli kind of DNA. But as the fragrance transitions, it has a little bit more of an orchid, a fresh orchid to the heart of the fragrance. It's not a terribly floral fragrance, but it does add an interesting combination, balancing out the fragrance with an interesting floral quality, not really a sourness. That's truly hard to describe. And then you get some like light woods and woody qualities that come through. In the dry down, it's just a refined fragrance. It's very easy to wear, very inoffensive, very inintrusive, perfect for the work environment, perfect for everyday wear, casual wear. This one doesn't have you smelling so fruity or so playful as some of the other Aventus-like fragrances, and it doesn't also, go as smoky or oak moss heavy as like a couple of the Nichane, like Hoctavat and some of those offerings do. So great fragrance, super inoffensive, super wearable. Doesn't have the greatest longevity, but it does really work for what it is. Orchid Man certainly needs to be something you need to try on your radar if you want a refined, wearable fragrance for everyday situations. It does its own thing, and it does it pretty darn well. So the next one is Mephisto. This is the Gentle Miso version from the House of Casamorati, and this one is often called a Silver Mountain water like fragrance. There definitely is some inspiration here from Silver Mountain water, but this is a refined beautiful fragrance. It has a little bit of neroli going on. It has a metallic quality, and I also get a little bit of nuttiness, but it's a very fresh fragrance and kind of aquatic. Again, I wanted to start off with some of the most wearable and the easy to understand fragrances. Guys, if you want your wearable aquatic fragrance with a metallic touch, a lot of guys probably haven't dived into fragrances that sound metallic because that might sound scary. It's metal, but you'd be amazed and surprised at how good this fragrance smells and how much the other guys like it. Big Beard Business called the original Silver Mountain water the Steal Your Girl fragrance for a reason. This actually works, and it's quite charming in its own way. Very clean, very refined, and a great, kind of like an aquatic fragrance with a twist on the market. One of the best wearable fragrances, really, for the gentleman out there. Check it out. Mephisto Gentle Miso from the House of Casamorati. And again, this is a branch off of Xerjoff, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong down below. And quite a good fragrance as well. Can't go wrong with it. Casamorati, they did it right here. So the next one, guys, you might be surprised that I actually chose this one. This is probably going to be a little bit out of left field, but this is still a wearable fragrance, and it's still a great one, and I think it's underrepresented for you gentlemen out there. This is Absinthe from the House of Nasamato. This is a great fragrance. You do get absinthe, and if you're not familiar with it, it has this green, almost like wormwood, almost like dry, old, aged, almost lavender type quality about it. It has some really unique woodiness and rootiness and booziness to it. It's refined and classy, but yet aged and distinguished. And Absinthe is a fantastic gentleman's fragrance. It is a little bit on the rough and tumble side, a little bit maybe more of a rugged, a little bit more of an individualistic, gentlemen might wear this fragrance. But it works. It really works. It's great if you want to smell great, if you're going for a picnic, to the park, if you're just a guy who wants to smell maybe perhaps a little bit more rustic, not in an old way, but in a fascinating way. This fragrance has character behind it. Absinthe, and certainly needs to be mentioned as one of the best boozy fragrances out there. Just not talked about as much because it is a little bit more mature perhaps to some people, and it is a little bit perhaps unusual for some people, but it's beautiful, guys. And I also almost get an ambery undertone to this fragrance as well. Absinthe, one of the best boozy fragrances out there for the gentleman, no doubt about it. Give this one a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this one. Fantastic fragrance release. So the next one I wanted to pull out, again, is from Casa Marati. And I mean, there's no doubt about it that some of these houses like Creed and, you know, even Casa Marati here have some stunning men's releases. This one is called Fiero. This one is a classic gentleman's fragrance, an Italian style through and through, fresh, crisp, gentlemanly, but yet has a lime off the top. It's beautiful. It's inviting. There's a beautiful lime here with just a touch of sweetness, and I get more of the lime peel. It doesn't smell like fresh lime juice. It has more of the lime peel, and this fragrance has this like almost beautiful, almost like lime, almost like tequila quality about it. Not because it's boozy, but because it's just, I don't know, it's refreshing, but yet cool and collected, but yet has a little bit of intrigue about it, but yet it's so wearable. It's got a really great balance of that, you know, of that maturity to it, but yet approachability. It's got it all going on, and it's got a little bit of weight and depth behind it without becoming so heavy in the dry down and so like dark or rich or anything like that. It's just a great everyday fragrance. Perhaps if you prefer deeper fragrances or perhaps fragrances with a little bit more depth, this is one that you could really pull out if you like green fragrances and lime. I think a lot of us like lime, but we just don't hear about it, or we don't talk about lime as much in fragrances, and Casa Marati's Fiero did it right here. So great fragrance, another one from Casa Marati. Let's jump into another fantastic niche gentleman's fragrance. Again, this one probably is a classic. You probably know about this one. This is Tuscan Leather. Guys, you probably know all about this one. I probably don't need to say anything about it, but if you haven't tried this one, this is for the leather lovers. This one is a little bit more dark, this one's a little bit spicier, and this one's rugged. This is a leather fragrance. It does it right. It's a powerhouse fragrance. Supposedly it's been reformulated or changed a little bit, but it still has its magic. A beautiful dry raspberry off the top. Then you get into a very rugged, beautiful, full-bodied leather fragrance. Perhaps a little bit linear to some. It doesn't change a whole lot, maybe for some people, but there's depth and richness, and boy does this fragrance perform. Even you know, supposedly with its reformulation, some people say it is a great performer, and it does really, really well. Some people actually think that this fragrance is too powerful for its own good. It is kind of hard to wear for some gents. For some people, it might be only for the winter wear, but it's a great fragrance. If you're a leather lover, this one's great, or you might just want to try out ombre leather, which might be a little bit more wearable for you gents. But this one has got to be on your, if you're a gent, you got to at least give it a go. Give it at least one try to see if this little magic, this fragrance with the magic is going to do it for you. So Tuscan Leather, you got to mention it. You got to give it its respect. Great fragrance from Tom Ford, maybe one of their best. The next fragrance here is one that not everybody knows about. Actually, it's hard to say this fragrance, but this is from the house of Profumum Aroma, and this is the house of Victrix. Victrix? Not really sure how you're supposed to say that. So, beautiful fragrance, guys. It's a salty, citrusy, watery almost fragrance with crisp, fresh greens and yellow elements to it, and some supporting florals. And it's not a terribly vetiver heavy fragrance, but it's able to capture that beauty of vetiver. It's a great fragrance. It reminds me of watercress a little bit, and I usually don't go for these fragrances that almost go yellow aldehydic on me and have those kinds of qualities about it, but this fragrance is able to have a beautiful crispness and saltiness that is almost addictive to this fragrance. So if you like a fresh, you know, masculine fragrance that has a little bit of that yellow aldehydic vibe to it, classic, timeless, but yet this one has an Italian flair and a little bit of its own style going on. So a fascinating fragrance. There's a little bit of incense, I believe, in the background to this one as well, and it's a little bit of a fragrance that has an allure to it. You know, for being so wearable, again, this is a fragrance with some allure and some class behind it. It does have its own little charm. So give Victrix a try. I think this one sweetens up a tiny bit in the background with some vanilla as well. Give it a go. Profumum Aroma, a beautiful house. In the world of niche fragrances here on YouTube, kind of underrepresented for how beautiful the house is. And for, you know, the magic they do with fragrances, Profumum Aroma really doesn't get spotlighted enough. Beautiful niche house. So the next fragrance Guys, I could not make a top 10 gentleman's list without a Creed fragrance. Even though I have mentioned a fragrance that, two fragrances already inspired by Creed, they're the the kings, and one reason Creed got so popular is because they're wearable and they're classy, and a lot of people love how wearable their fragrances truly are. So I decided to pull out actually two. I have one more coming, but this one is Creed Viking. Now, this I'm not putting down on the fragrance, but I often say this is a very refined, upscale, very high scale version of allspice, and it certainly has this beautiful mix of cinnamon and clove and spices, and there's some mint off the top. And it's I kind of was unhappy that they were asking so much money, $550 when it was first released. But this fragrance has really came down on the prices. You can find a great deal on it, and for a spicy fragrance, for a refined, gentlemanly fragrance, this fragrance has energy. It has pep in its step, and it's a refined, spicy fragrance. So if you like your spicy fragrances and you're a gent, maybe you like Old Spice, maybe you remember your grandpa smelling like that, and you wanted a classy, more of a modern approach to that kind of smell, Creed did it and did a great job with Vikings. I don't know if Vikings was the best name for this fragrance, but they certainly did a great job here with this release. So Creed Viking, you got to give it a try. It's got a little bit of licorice hidden up in there. It's got some woods again, and I kind of get some cedar here as well, just a little touch of it. But it ends up just being a classy, refined fragrance. That actually is probably one of the most recommended on this list as well. You can't go wrong with Creed Viking, especially when you're able to get it at a great price. The next one I wanted to mention here was Floris, another great niche house that's not recommended and not talked about enough in the fragrance world in general. A great house flying under people's radars, and this one is called Elite. So I know not every gent likes any types of powdery nuances to their fragrance, and I try to avoid those a little bit in this list, honestly, again, with being more fresh and more versatile, and this one here does it right, but does have a little bit of powder to it. So you get spicy, beautiful green nuances. You get that soapiness that you want, maybe a little bit of that powderiness, a little bit of spiciness. This is kind of that trifecta fragrance. This is one of the best gentlemanly fragrances on the market. You're smelling soapy, clean, fresh, spicy, and it's just got it all in this fragrance. You won't disappoint you, I guarantee you. If you're a gent out there and you haven't gotten your nose on Floris Elite, and that sounds beautiful to you, if you like those spicy, powdery creations, soapy, spicy fragrances, this one will do you right. And I think that you should check it out, and I encourage you to check this one out because it's a beautiful, refined, classy fragrance for you gents out there. One of the best out there, certainly, and it's actually a pretty good value for the money, in my humble opinion as well. For what you're getting for the money, not a bad price either. The next I wanted to mention is this one might not be considered truly niche or truly high-end niche for some frag heads, but I had to pull this one out. This one deserves a mention. It's one of the best leather fragrances, in my opinion, out there, and it screams quality. It screams class. This is Hermes Rocabar. Rocabar Vetiver is also absolutely stunning. You could go for either one of these, but this is a gorgeous fragrance, guys. You're getting leather, you're getting a little bit of patchouli, you're getting a little bit of incense, and you're getting spices. This one is a little bit more cool and confident, maybe a little bit more reserved, and it does a beautiful job at this creation here. They did wonders with it. Rocabar by Hermes, not often mentioned, not mentioned by everybody, but certainly one of the best modern creations, or one of the best creations that's come out in a couple years. And it's been out for a couple years, but it's still one of the best fragrances out there for you gents. It's truly a classic, and it truly smells beautiful. Any guy can wear this, and this is one of those that's just timeless. And if you haven't gotten your nose on Hermes Rocabar and you're a gentleman out there, would highly recommend you get on your nose on this one. A lot of people like Guerlain Heritage, and that's a great fragrance. I highly respected the Guerlain Heritage EDP, but I dare say that I might even prefer this one even more. So, you can't sleep on this one. If you haven't given Hermes Rocabar a chance, you just got to do it. So the last fragrance here I want to mention is another Creed fragrance. Again, Creed does do it right. No matter how much grievance or how much I have talked about them in the past, they do a great job for the gentleman with versatile, high-quality fragrances, even though they might not be the best value at times. You know, price for your dollar, which y'all know that I care about that a lot. But I wanted to pull out Tabarome. This is out of my dad's private collection. A number of these are, and this is a great fragrance if you're looking for an interesting fresh leather kind of combination, a duo of things. You get this fresh lemon, and yet you get this like light suede leather, and it comes together with some spices and some other nuances, and this fragrance just has a little bit of magic. I also get some fresh patchouli here, really adding to that classiness again with the patchouli, just a little bit. And this fragrance really works wonders. It's hard to describe. Honestly, again, I could say I want more longevity, I want it cheaper, but when the day is done, when all things are said, Tabarome this is a great fragrance, and it is really going to work for some gentlemen out there. I wanted to mention this one at the end of the video because it does have at times, especially in the heat, some yellow aldehyde aspects to it. Some gents love that. Some people love that. It adds a real classic vibe to it. I struggle with it. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you like aldehyde? Anything like that, with that yellow floral type of feel. But it's still a great fragrance. Very refined, very classy, very timeless, and certainly a fragrance that every gent needs to at least try at least once to see if it works for him and his collection. Some of you gents will probably fall in love with good old Tabarome. And I also think I get a tiny bit of ginger here as well. So great fragrance, really is. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed my video today. I hope that I gave you a little bit of, encouragement, and I made a video just for you. I think that, again, you're underappreciated, and there's classy, refined, timeless fragrances out there. There are ones that are more, inexpensive. J. Purr is great. There's an EDT or an EDP by Bouchervent, and there's a number of beautiful fragrances. You can still get Guerlain's Vetiver for an amazing price out there, and you could wear that anytime, all day, every day, and not have to hurt your bank account so much, and you would smell absolutely fantastic. But again, I wanted to pull out some more expensive options for you, having you smelling your best, and I hope that you enjoyed my list today. Again, if you did like my list, if you did enjoy the video, please help me out, help this channel grow. You know, that really helps me get more exposure, gets me more visibility, and really helps us, to build up the fragrance family. If you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. And when you do hit the bell, please hit all notifications, because I put out a video just about every darn day, and I hope that you like that. So please come back, and I'll have another video for you tomorrow. I'll see you soon, everybody. Have a beautiful day. I'll catch you in the next video. Stay safe, stay beautiful, be smelling great, and let me know, what is your favorite gentleman fragrance? What is your favorite classy gent fragrance in the comment section below? I would love to know that, and let's get a conversation started. I'll see you next time. Peace out, wear what you love, and bye.